My name's Kane. I'm 19 years old, and in September 2014 the RSL Services Club Association sponsored me to walk the Kokoda Trail. It was one of the most rewarding, life-changing and challenging experiences I've ever undertaken. The best part for me of the trek would have been Isharava Memorial. On the second day of the trek we reached Isharava Memorial, and I'd had a pretty shocking day. I'd been pretty sick, and I had a bad reaction to my malaria medication, and I sort of was thinking the beginning of the track was a lot closer than the end. And when I arrived at Isharava, it just blew my mind away, and seeing the 4 pillars standing there and hearing the stories about the Bishop brothers and Kingsbury, it was the most breathtaking place I've ever been to. The story that sort of touched me the deepest and had the most effect on me was the story of the Bishop brothers that we heard at Isharava Memorial. We sat sort of where we thought they would have been, and we were told the story of Stan and Butch Bishop. They were 2 brothers who were fighting together in the Battle of Isharava, and the younger brother got hit. And the older brother sat there with him and held his hand and promised him that he would go home and live a full life, the life that his brother would never get to live. And then when the younger brother finally passed away, the older brother went back and kept fighting. And I think that when I was sitting there listening to that story, the image in front of me suddenly morphed into me and my younger sister. My sister Jess is 2 years younger than me, and it's quite likely that if we were born during that time frame and we were young men, that we would have been sent over to Kokoda, and we could have possibly been in that position. And I just can't comprehend how he was able to sit there with his brother and hold his hand like that and then go back and keep fighting. And it really touched a spot, because it's thought that just enormous sacrifice that those soldiers made and that bravery that they had, which is something that I don't know if as many of us have today. The RSL's Kokoda Youth Leadership Challenge has helped me change my life in so many ways. I think the first way is that it's really broadened my understanding of the world around me. It's given me a much better perspective of the world. But the second thing that it's done is it's given me a very unique opportunity to give back to my community. I've had the opportunity to talk at a number of different functions since I've came back and let other people know about Kokoda and about the Kokoda legacy. I think that anyone that walks the trek has a responsibility to share their experiences so that more people become aware of what our soldiers did and what they went through, and we can all appreciate their sacrifice more. So I think what the RSL Club's done is given me an opportunity to give back, as well as given me something that's allowed me to grow as a person. And I have more confidence than what I had before in myself. I think every time something frightens me now, I walked up Imina Ridge, or I stood on Brigade Hill, or I was in Isharava Memorial. And so everything that I do, I go, I can do this, I've done that, I can do this. I think the other thing is that I put a lot more weight on my decisions in terms of the soldiers made this enormous sacrifice, and walking the Kokoda track made me much more aware of that sacrifice. But now when I make decisions, I also go, is this decision worthy of the sacrifice that they made? So I think it's just sort of changed my mind frame and changed the way I approach things in my everyday life.